Hello students. Today we will be discussing some more problems on computation of total income and taxable income from business. Now look at this question. This is a previous year problem, 2015 question paper problem. Now they have asked this for section B 6 marks question. They have given certain types of expenses and we have to find out and classify among these types of expenses which are admissible and which are inadmissible in nature. Now look at first one. The first expenses whatever they have given as cash payment of 18,500 paid to a supplier of raw materials on a day on which the banks were closed on account of indefinite strike. Now again, if you look at it carefully, when it comes to companies, up to 20,000 cash payment is admissible. So any payment which is made in payment of cash which is exceeding 20,000 will become inadmissible. Even if it is 20,000 rupee also, then it would the entire amount would be inadmissible. So in this case, it is 18,500. That means it is lesser than 20,000. So it becomes admissible expense. Then again, second expense they have given depreciation of 40,000 is debited to P&L account on Sri Ram temple, which is constructed inside the factory premises for the benefits of employees of the company. Now here, depreciation is charged on their asset and which is a part of their factory. The temple they have given, they are charging 40,000 depreciation on Sri Ram temple, which is constructed inside the factory premises. So if this temple is inside the factory premises, that means it becomes part of your factory premises. So that means it is as good as charging or computing depreciation on your factory premises. So that also becomes admissible. Then again, they have given contribution made by company to staff welfare fund. So if there is any staff welfare expenses, that is admissible. But contribution to staff welfare fund or any other charitable funds will become inadmissible. Then again, donation to NCF 25,000 is inadmissible expenses. So any types of donations and charities that you make is completely inadmissible. Then again, because for donations you can claim deductions under section 80G, but when you make donations and charities or contribute any amount, any funds, donations and charities, please remember it becomes inadmissible. Then again, bonus of 75,000 was paid to the employee after the due date of filing return of income. See, even though bonus is 75,000 is paid to employee, it becomes admissible. But since they are making this payment after the filing of return, it becomes inadmissible in nature. So whatever payment they are making to employees or whatever bills they are paying, they should be paying within the due date of filing the return. So any payments made by the company in the previous year after filing the return of income, it becomes inadmissible. Then again, service tax paid. So service tax paid is related to business, so it becomes admissible. Then again, provision of for income tax is inadmissible. So since income tax is personal expenditure, it cannot be treated as business expenses and it becomes inadmissible. Then again, of the sales tax provision, sales tax of 10,000 was paid before filing the return of income. So since the sales tax of 10,000 is paid before filing return of income, it becomes admissible. If the same thing would have been paid after the filing of return of income, it would become inadmissible. So hope you have understood this problem. Now again, let us go to the next problem where they have given that Z Limited is engaged in manufacturing drugs and pharmaceuticals. Its net profit for the year ended March 31 is after crediting the following items, the profit and loss account shows the net profit of 5,60,000. So here instead of giving P&L account, they have directly given certain expenditure and we have to identify which are inadmissible and which are admissible. Now this 5,60,000 is your net profit. So this becomes your starting point for computation of taxable income from business or business income. Then again, income tax paid during the year. So income tax paid during the year, personal expenditure. So it is inadmissible. You have to add. Then again, legal fees incurred in connection with purchase of building 40,000. Now look at here carefully this point. Legal fees incurred in connection with purchase of building. Now even though it is related to your business, but what you have to look here is legal charges they are incurring for purchase of building. So building is a capital asset. So whatever 40,000 they are incurring, it will be capitalized at later point of time. So since this expenditure, legal fees is of capital expenditure, it cannot be an item of your P&L account. So it is wrongly debited to your P&L account. So again, it becomes inadmissible and it should be added to net profit as per P&L account. Then again, cash payment made to suppliers X and Y is 15,000 and 25,000. So here they are making cash payment to suppliers for X, they are paying 15,000. It is admissible since it is less than 20,000. But in case of supplier Y, they have made cash payment of 25,000. That means it is in excess of 20,000. So this entire 25,000 becomes inadmissible. So we have to add back. Then again, rent receipt during rent receipt from letting out land. See, this letting out land is not house property. Only if they give rent receipt from house property, it becomes income from house property. So whatever they have given rent receipt from letting out land is income from other sources, is considered as income from other sources, and it has to be deducted from your net profit as per P&L account. Since it is a non-business income, it relates to some other head of income. Now again, what else is there? They have given they have made some payment to political party for advertisement in souvenir 75,000. So that means they are making payment for advertising in souvenir of political party. So if the company is making any incurring any advertisement expenditure in magazine of political party, in the magazine of political party or a souvenir of political party, then entire amount would become inadmissible in nature. Then again, they have given capital expenditure incurred for promoting family. Actually, they have missed out on word here. Capital expenditure incurred for promoting family planning among the employees. So whenever they give family planning, please remember, you forget about capital expenditure, revenue expenditure. Once you get this term, family planning expenses incurred by the company, it can be written off over a period of 5 years. That means they have spent 1 lakh rupees for promoting family planning. But out of this 1 lakh, only 150 is admissible for current year. That means current relevant previous year. But here enter 1 lakh, they have debited to P&L account. So what we have to do, if 150 is admissible, then 450 is inadmissible. So this 1 lakh rupees will be multiplied into 4 by 5, and this 4/5 of the portion of this 1 lakh will become inadmissible, and we have to add back. Then again, they have given interest on investment. So interest on investment means it is income from other sources. So you have to deduct from your net profit from P&L account. Then again, you have traveling expenses 45,000 on a foreign tour of a director for negotiating with a foreign manufacturer for purchase of machinery. So here also, if it is only general traveling expenses, you should have considered it as admissible in nature. Means for frequently, if you are traveling on a business purpose, then it becomes your business purpose and it will become admissible in nature. But here the director himself is going on a foreign tour and for negotiating with a foreign manufacturer for purchase of machinery. That means here this 45,000, whatever they are incurring as travel expenditure, when they purchase this machinery, they will capitalize this cost as a cost of machinery along with the cost of machinery. So it becomes your capital expenditure. So since it is capital expenditure, it becomes inadmissible and it should be added back to net profit as per P&L account. So as usual, you start with net profit as per P&L account 5,60,000. Add all inadmissible items like income tax, legal fees, cash payment made to supplier in excess of 20,000, advertisement in souvenir of political party, capital expenditure for promoting family planning expenses. Only 150 is admissible, so 4/5 will be inadmissible. You add 4/5 of the amount. Then traveling expenses of director is also capital expenditure, so you add it. Then you will get total as 8,45,000. Then again from that amount, again you deduct admissible expenses and non-business income. So rent from renting out land and interest on investment are non-business income. It do not belong to your business, so you deduct those amount. You will finally end up getting taxable income from business. Now you can also compute total income from business, total income of the company. You start with income from business, which you have already computed above 7,95,000. Then again add income from other sources, that is rent from letting out land and interest received on investment 20,000 and 30,000. You will get gross total income of 8,45,000. Now, and you have to, once you get gross total income, you have to show deductions under 80G to 80LA. Now there are no deductions available here to this company. So since it is nil, your total income will be 8,45,000. Hope you have understood this problem. Then again, let us move on to one more problem, which is a previous year question paper problem, which is 2015 question paper problem. They are given P&L account here, and we have to find out both taxable income from business as well as total income of the company. Now again, let us discuss all the items debited and credited to P&L account. Now they have also given some additional information here. Let us look at that one. Now they are given first item debited to P&L account, salary to staff is 3,25,000. It is admissible. Audit fees also admissible. Bad debts is also admissible. So depreciation debited to P&L account is inadmissible. So we have to add to net profit. Income tax, it is inadmissible. We have to add. Dividend distribution tax is also inadmissible. We have to add. Donation to NDF, that also we have to add. And wealth tax also, it is personal expenditure. So we have to add. Then again, customs duty payable. See here, customs duty payable, it is, even though it is related to business, so what you have to do, there is certain additional information which they have given. So they have given 62,000 here customs duty payable. Now again, in additional information they have given, of the custom duty payable, 12,000 was paid before filing the return. That means if you have paid this entire amount of 62,000, it would have been admissible. But here it is payable. That means it is still outstanding, not paid within the due date of filing the return of income. So out of the 62,000, you have made payment of only 12,000. So remaining 50,000 difference amount becomes inadmissible and you have to add. Then again, they have given net profit 28,50,000, which is the starting point for computation. Then again, gross, they have given gross profit, no need to worry about that. Then again, they have given on credit side by withdrawn from general reserves, which was created in 1997, 1998 by debiting P&L account 1,60,000. Now, since they have shown it as an income, so whatever they have withdrawn from general reserve means a reserve where all the previous year profits will be transferred to this particular reserve, right? So that accumulated profits they have withdrawn for some business purpose and they are showing it as business income. But since it is a non-business income, you should consider it as income from other sources, and since it is a non-business income or income from some other head, you should deduct it from net profit because it will not be your current year business income. That means you have not earned this 1,60,000 through regular operations of business. So you have to deduct this 1,60,000. Then again, they are given few additional information. They are given depreciation allowable as per IT rules works out to 1,45,500. So depreciation which is allowable as per IT rules are which is given in additional information, you should always deduct. Then again, brought forward business loss of previous year, you should deduct this 3,50,000 from current year business income. Then again, brought forward unobserved depreciation also you should deduct from current year income from business or business income. Then this point we have already discussed. Then again, they are saying the company is eligible for deduction under section 80, that is 28,50,000 will be your taxable income from business. Out of that, 1/4 of it or 25% of is eligible for claiming deduction under section 80 IB. So directly they have only given 25% of your total business income will be eligible for deduction. So once you get gross total income, you have to deduct from gross total income. Then again, deduction under section 80G in respect of donation to NDF. Since you have made donation to NDF, entire amount will be eligible for claiming deduction under section 80G. So this both amount, 25% of 28,50,000 and donation amount to NDF, both amount should be deducted from your gross total income. So start with your net profit as per P&L account 28,50,000. Then again, depreciation debited to P&L account you have to add, income tax you have to add, DDT or dividend distribution tax you have to add, donation, wealth tax, custom duty payable, the difference amount only should be added. And again, admissible expenses or non-business income, that is amount withdrawn from reserves and depreciation as per IT rule should be deducted. So you finally get a total business income or taxable income from business as 30,29,500 year. Right. Now again, from this 29,500, which is your business income, you should deduct your brought forward business loss, which is 3,50,000, and brought forward unobserved depreciation, which is 1,45,000. Then you will get a gross total income of 25,34,500. And again, they have given deduction which can be claimed on this amount of 28,50,000. That is 25% of this amount, which is eligible for deduction under section 80IB. So it will be 7,12,500. You deduct that from gross total income, and donation to NDF, whatever you have made, donation entire 60,000 will be eligible for deduction. So you deduct that amount and you will ultimately get the total income of 17,62,000. So this is how we have to solve the problem. Thank you.